That's when I first got
not
there.
the spa, just the regular massage we went to, and I fell down the steps.
I was gonna say that, but
Yes, I know you was gonna say it, so I said it for you. See?
I told you I could show you the world. I showed you the world.
Show you the world.
I showed it to you. So what were some of like your
wonder by wonder? First off, I don't even know you yet. Okay.
First of all,
don't talk to me. And I'm not giving this man my keys.
Oh, that lady was all on your booty. Welcome to episode 4 of Us in Real Life. As you can see, we are not at our home. We are on somebody's balcony with the lovely beach behind us.
Somebody's balcony?
Yeah.
What you mean? It's ours this week.
It's ours this week. Yes, we paid good money for it.
Yes, we did.
We are in Jamaica.
Ocho Rios, Jamaica.
Yes. Ocho Rios.
Not Ochos?
Not Ochos.
Ocho Rios.
Ocho Rios.
Ocho Rios.
Yes.
Jamaica.
Yes.
Why are we here, Maisha?
We are here to celebrate our 8-year wedding anniversary.
Yes,
and
we are.
It's been a journey for 8 years.
Amazing journey, though.
Amazing, yes.
I mean, the way you said it.
No, it's been amazing. But,
Okay.
we are here celebrating in the lovely Ocho Rios, Jamaica.
Production announcement.
Public service
Thank
announcement.
you. There we go. Public service announcement for our podcast listeners and anyone listening, really. We are, like I might should say, in different locations. So we're doing our best. We don't have our regular setup. We're holding our podcast mics this time. So if there's any bad, any pickup of any sounds, and
it's
we
the
apologize.
ocean. God made it.
Yeah, but listen to the ocean. Does it sound good? We're going to just be quiet real quick for the ocean. And that's the ocean, guys. The ocean is here to
Yes,
speak.
yes. Y'all, we booked this all-inclusive, adults-only resort, for many reasons. One of the reasons being that they said they had a private, all-natural island. So we were like, yeah, run it.
All natural is going to be,
Yeah,
gonna be
'cause
untouched by human
this
hands.
property has like multiple locations, so we comparing and contrasting. Well, this property got this one got this. We saw this one had a private island. We said, bet it up. This is the one we gonna do, y'all. We did an orientation our first day, and they showed us the island. We were like, oh yeah, we can't wait to go there. And she was like, all natural. I'm thinking, yeah, like natural, like nobody's touched it. All natural meaning natural like Adam and Eve. Like in the nude, it's mandatory that you take your clothes off.
Take your clothes off.
When
it is a nude beach, okay? They try to make it sound fancier than it is. It's a nude beach, okay? All natural really means it's a nude beach.
And it's not all A-L-L. It's all A-U.
A-U, yeah.
So I'm going to have to
Fancy.
Google that. If that's French,
Fancy.
whatever.
Fancy.
But that means take your clothes off if you want to be on that island. So
It's a
needless to say,
private island.
private island.
Meaning your private parts.
Your private parts. Well,
That's
these
the-
private parts
that's
won't
the
be on that.
private part
These
about it.
private parts won't be on that all natural island.
Now we gonna go because they got like a 30-minute window.
A 30-minute Christian get your behind up. So we can go on there, take these pictures, flex one time, and we're gonna bring our tails over there.
30-minute window. They say, look, 8:30 to 9. You can go to the island. You can see how it is. Take pictures. But 9 a.m. on the dot, them clothes got to come off.
If you over there, drop them.
Drop them
Draws.
That's what they said. They ain't say that. Okay, we made that part up.
We made up the drop the draws, but they did say at 9
said
o'clock
9
all the
you gotta
clothes better
take
be
your
off,
clothes
and it's
off.
mandatory. So
Mandatory, shawty.
Yeah. All right. So Christian, what are we talking about today? I know we're in Jamaica, but what are we talking about today?
Right. So today, because we are here, we decided to take a moment to film this episode here because travel was a big part of our marriage, right? So we wanted to make an episode about our travels, how travel has kind of shaped our marriage and what makes it important for us. And it's a, important thread of our marriage, right?
Absolutely.
Let's start with our upbringing and how we
are different.
Different
Yeah.
from there. So Mike, you want to go first?
Well, I've had a passport since I was the young tender age of 2 years old.
I was 10 years old.
Yes, I've had a passport since I was 2. My mother is retired military, so we lived in Germany for a year. So, yeah, I've had a passport since I was 2. I've been fortunate, blessed to travel a lot domestically and internationally. I remember growing up every year, my mom and my dad took us, the 3 of us went to Florida. They had timeshares, so like Florida, a week in Florida every summer. Look forward to that. So I went to Florida a lot. I'm really not a big fan of Florida now. But yeah, so just traveling a lot growing up. Thanks to my mother's experience, was fortunate to go out of the country. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of times.
So, long story short, right? Travel is basically a lot.
It's a big part of
your-
my
yeah.
life. Yes, Christian.
My story's a little bit different, right? I say often about I'm the youngest of 5, so it's 7 of us in the house. So we weren't doing too much traveling. My dad actually is retired from the Navy as well. But at the time when I was born, right, he had already been out of the Navy, and so travel really wasn't a big part of our lives. The most we traveled was to Six Flags. So we did a lot of Six Flags. We also went on a church trip. We went to Florida. And I went to Universal Studios for the first time. I don't know how old I was then, but that's the most travel I can remember is Six Flags, which technically in Georgia, that wasn't really
Up the road.
I mean, nah, it was far, but Six Flags in Universal Studios in Florida was the most travel I can remember. So yeah, but travel really wasn't a thing I kind of longed for anyway. But I wasn't against it. I'm open to it, and so I met Maisha, and that was a big part of her and who she was, and I just gravitated to it with her. I can show you the world.
Nah,
That's what
but
she
I
told
showed
me.
you the world.
That's what I'm saying. I'm you.
Oh.
I'm you singing to me.
Yeah.
That's what you said,
Yeah,
Maisha.
show me the world. So yeah, Christian, like you weren't against traveling, but me, I was just like, this is something that I've always done, and I'm not finna stop now. If anything, I'm finna travel more because I got plenty of money.
Plenty of money?
That's what Ply said. But
Oh,
my
okay.
money, your money, we got plenty of money
Oh,
together.
we got plenty.
Yeah, we got plenty of money together.
To go travel.
Yeah.
And so early on in our relationship, we started traveling together. So Maisha does these yearly Florida trips, or she did these yearly Florida trips with her family, and
It was right before we started college.
right. And so at that point, we had been dating for like 6 months or whatever it was. And I asked my family, like, hey, like they go to Florida, I want to go. And after pulling some teeth, they allowed me to go with Maisha. So
I
that was our
remember your
first.
dad was like, son.
Is that the voice?
Yeah, talking to my mama. Mom was like, they fine.
Yes, that was a good trip. We had a really good time. We went down to Florida for the first time together. So that was our first trip
yeah.
together. So
We have
Yeah.
to find that picture from Arabian Nights. We look foolish.
goofy. We had our all white on though. We thought we was killing them.
Hot stuff.
We thought we was hot stuff.
Hot stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's transition into another big part of our marriage
With travel.
with travel, right? So in 2018,
Yes.
which would have been about a year after we got married, so we were still kind of in the newlywed phase of our marriage, we up and moved to Cairo, Egypt
Yes.
So-
For me.
for Maisha. So yes, Maisha wanted to do international education,
I'm a school counselor.
a school counselor, and I'm not in education at all, but yeah, it was a thing. Maisha brought it to my attention, and I was, like I said, I'm open to it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like, let's do it. Nothing holding us back. We can definitely go. I'll find a job. I'll figure it out, and we can do this together. And so we did a job fair, an international education job fair. It was here in Atlanta. I took off work, and Maisha, I think it was you already? I don't know. Either way, we went to this job fair. And Maisha interviewed with a lot of different schools.
I did some in Kuwait, South Korea. I think I did a couple of African countries. Yeah. And going into the job fair, we knew because Christian wasn't an educator, the chances of him finding a job in education were slim, but we were okay with it. Like, it might mean that Christian's doing video a lot more. It might mean that he's volunteering. It might be that he's, whatever. But Christian was going to figure it out. But all that to say, we were fortunate enough to interview. I don't remember. Did we interview with AIS at the thing, or was that after the fact?
No, it was after the fact.
So I think we found it like online after the fact.
Right.
Long story short, I did the interview. They loved me, of course. Who doesn't?
Of course. Right.
And then they had a position which was a
Well, hold on. So they call us spouses. They call us traveling spouses.
Trailing
spouses, right? So
trailing
basically,
behind me.
spouses who don't have education is their background, right? So I couldn't get hired as a teacher or a counselor, but they do have positions that are permanent substitute teacher positions, basically, where in this particular school, they want to have a permanent sub in the building every day. So if someone goes out, they already have someone kind of on board, ready to go. And so that's the role that I was in. And they also asked me to be a PE teacher. So
The only requirement was that he had a bachelor's degree.
right,
So.
and I got that. So I was like, cool. So for 3 days out of the week, I was a PE teacher, and the other 2 days I was a substitute teacher, and it was
And it worked
interesting.
out because with him getting his own contract, that meant he got his contract, I got my contract. He got a living stipend allowance, I got one as well. He got flight benefits, I got flight benefits. So double blessing. But
It was a good experience.
It was a great
Now
experience. It was different.
we can say this, this great experience now, but that's not how it started.
Oh, absolutely not.
Mike, you want to talk about how it started? You want to talk about that part, or?
Oh, from the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So fly to Egypt, pack up our lives. Me, Christian, and Nugget, the cat. Y'all saw him on a few episodes. 10 luggages? 10?
10.
9? Something like that. We had a lot, okay? We packed up our entire lives, moved to Egypt. We had a flight from Atlanta to Toronto to Istanbul, and then Istanbul to Cairo. Touchdown in Cairo, 11, 12 o'clock at night. We get to the baggage claim. We see somebody else that was on our flight. They got their bags. Don't see now one of our bags. Now, I got this loud elephant print bag. Don't see it anywhere. And also, we had our check bag. I mean, remember we had our carry-ons.
And we checked it.
But they made us check it.
Yeah.
And so, carry-on, you have incidentals, change of clothes, food for the cat, whatever. Made us check that. So we literally had the clothes on our back and whatever we had in our little book bag. Got there, baggage claim, rolling. The belt stopped rolling. We don't have no bags.
Yeah, and Maisha was panicked, you all. She was ready to go at that moment. Like, you know what, this ain't gonna work out. But clearly, this is a sign.
Send our bags back to Atlanta.
Be here.
Send our bags back to Atlanta.
It was definitely a struggle. That obviously that first day, right? We had to be okay with walking away from that situation, not having our bags.
No, tell them, Christian, what you want to do with our keys.
That's not something crawling on me. That's not what I wanted to do with the keys. Don't frame it like that. Basically the attendant said, "Hey, do you all have any locks on your bag?" We was like, "Yeah, we do." So okay, we need the keys for that. So I forgot the reasoning behind it, but Maisha was like, "Nah." And other person, actually, your co-counselor, I guess, he got hired. His bags were lost too, and he gave his keys up. He was like, "Hey, you should maybe just give him something." Maisha was like, "No. First off, I don't even know you yet." Okay.
First of all,
don't talk to me. And I'm not giving this man my keys.
And
so
I put my foot down, and Christian
right.
said,
And I'm just like, hey, okay, she said no keys. She's already upset. I'm not trying to make it worse. She was okay with the idea, not okay with it, but she came to be okay with the idea of we walking out of here, out of this airport without our bags. But giving the keys was just not a thing she wanted to do. So I said, you know what? You're not giving him the keys. Cool. Which actually worked out in our favor because I'll kind of zoom past the rest of the story. But long story short, we get to the airport maybe 4 or 5 days later, however many days it was. And one of our coworkers, she's Egyptian, so she helped us kind of translate with the people hey, these, don't tell them where they are. Have someone escort them to their luggage. So we're walking out of this office, this downstairs office of the airport. And the Egyptian airport is not very modernized, if that's the best way I can say it. And so, yeah, it was just a struggle. We ended up walking out of this office where we talked to this person that was escorting us, and they're walking us through. We're thinking, we're kind of turning our bodies toward back to the, front door of the airport, and he just kind of keeps walking towards the parking lot. I'm like, where are we going? And our bags, all 9 or however many of them, were just in the parking lot.
In 100+ degree.
It was pretty hot that day, too. It was just in the parking lot, and those locks were still there, though. And they were still on.
They surely were.
All our stuff was there. Nothing was stolen. So either way, it worked out. But it was a struggle. And it was the beginning of other struggles that Maisha had when it came to moving across the world. Like I've said many times on this podcast so far, Maisha is very about the book. She likes things to be the way they are.
Ain't nobody going to tell me what to do.
Where she wants things to be the way they're supposed to be. And so Egypt was I think that Egypt very much grew Maisha's ability to be patient, right? So Maisha has struggles with being patient, and Egypt was definitely a period of time in our lives where it forced her to. What?
I didn't say anything.
It was a time in our lives that definitely forced her to be more patient. And so, be careful what you pray for, right? Because God will make you. You start praying for stuff, and God's like, "Okay, you want to have more patience. I'm gonna put you in a position where you gotta be more patient." And that's what Egypt was, and that was kind of the beginning of Maisha's culture shock, right? That we kind of experienced. You want to talk about a little bit of that first? 3 months ish of culture shock?
Oh yeah, it
for
was
you?
bad. Like I'm like, this is stupid. First of all, the money. I came over here for the money. Y'all ain't got my bank set up. That was a whole ordeal. And I'm like, I go to work, I want my money. It was a whole thing. So that, because in America, it take you 5 minutes to set up a bank account and your money start direct depositing whenever they, the check clear. And that wasn't the case there. They're like, oh, miss, you're gonna get paid. No, I need it. And then just like other like small things, like I remember something that was a culture shock, and at first I was against it, but then I was like, I'm not doing this. When all of the people at the school were like, yeah, this person can clean your house, this person can clean your house, and I was like, I don't need nobody cleaning my house, because it's therapeutic for me. Y'all, we moved into that apartment, I cleaned for the first time. I said, yeah, I'm not doing this. Who y'all recommend? Give me her number. And yeah. But that was good. That was a culture shock. It was different because here in America, you get somebody to clean your house one time, that's $200+. And that just wasn't the case over there.
Over there, it was like $15 maybe every
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it was pretty cheap, and she turned out to be a very important part of our lives.
Still talk to her to this day.
Yep, and she gave us our first, I guess, Ethiopian.
No, she's
not Ethiopian?
No.
She's South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Right, our Sudanese meal.
Yes.
So over there, y'all, who was cooking, Maisha was cooking, I should say, and trying to, cook, and we were just having a struggle. We went to this lady's house, y'all. That food was
climbed up
like
17 flights
of steps. But that food was so good.
Yeah.
And like, how you do this, Ms. Anna? Like, where do you get these seasonings from? But anyway, yeah, so that was Egypt. That season of our lives was definitely an important part of like our foundation and what kind of shaped our marriage, right?
Yeah, I think just us picking up everything and moving after 1 year of marriage. So of course, like Christian and I have been dating a long time, but like dating versus marriage, very different. And so having to navigate not only, our going into our second year of marriage, but going into our second year of marriage without our friends, without our family, like, 20, 30 minutes away, and time differences. So we couldn't talk to them all the time. Like we really we had each other. Like, and I feel like that was very instrumental to just shaping who we are individually and then also who we are as a unit. Because we didn't have other people to call, Christian getting on my nerves, or this, or Maisha, man, get your daughter, da-da-da. We didn't have that because...
Right, we had to rely on each other and kind of grow and have those growing pains together, the different things that we struggle with, whether it be, our differences in how we do conflict, right? And so with everything that was going on, when we were there and kind of getting things together, me wanting to be very like, hey, let's attack this issue. Like, let's talk about it. Maisha needed her time, her space away. Like, it was a lot for us kind of learning each other early on in that process, but also being in that setting. And
we kind of sped it up because I don't know, like, if we would have not gone overseas, how many months or years it would have taken us to learn that about each other. Because, we're in a comfortable setting in America. Like, we know things. So,
right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it definitely beneficial for us. Definitely shaped us into people we are today. That experience is being across the world, being in a different location, different culture, just opens your mind up to what else is out there in the world. So it was definitely needed for us.
Absolutely. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah.
People ask us that all the time, like, would y'all do it again? I'm like, yeah, I would. I don't know if this right now is the season for it. Like, we've gotten so comfortable, things like that. But, like, yeah, if the opportunity presented itself, yeah, I would definitely go.
And it made sense. We would definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
but now the economy everywhere is a struggle. So I don't know if it's financially responsible to do.
The jug is up, guys.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why, I guess, real quick, when we were looking at these different schools and everything, we had different boxes we wanted to check. So it had to cover our travel, had to have a housing stipend, it had to
benefits.
have
Health benefits.
Right, so it's just certain things that had to be checked, and again, this school checked all those boxes for us, and so we'll probably need more boxes checked if we did this again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like
And now we're older. We're not. I mean, we're free, but like I just think our first year of marriage, we're free. We're like we young. We ain't got no kids. Like it's me.
We also there were other couples there with full families, older, so
and they been there for years.
Like made it a part of their lives basically.
Yeah.
So
while we were in Egypt, we were fortunate also enough to be able to travel
a
ton of places. So, Christian, I told you I could show you the world. I showed you the world.
Show you the world.
I showed it to you. So what were some of like your
wonder by wonder over under and side? I don't know if that's the word.
It's probably not. Anywho.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were fortunate enough to visit many countries while we were there. So some of I'll say like I have so many favorite places, but I'll try to just pick one.
Okay.
My favorite. I'm going to say this one because I know which one you're going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say my favorite was South Africa. We spent like New Year's Eve, New Year's in South Africa. You surprised me with the tickets to Afro Punk because that's around the time Masego started getting really, really big. And like we both were like, oh my gosh, love us, Masego. You surprised me with that. And so we went to South Africa. We went to Afro Punk. And that was an experience in itself. In Joburg, we did some tours around Joburg. And then when we went to Cape Town as well, rented a car. Christian drove on the right side of the road, but the steering wheel is also on the right side of the road. He wouldn't let me drive, even though I'm a better driver than him.
No, you're not. If we crashed this car, I wanted it to be my fault and not her fault.
But yeah, so South Africa was definitely one of my favorite trips that we took while we were over there. I touched down. I just felt like I was with my ancestors. Like it just felt like of all the countries that we've been blessed to travel to, like that one was the one I felt most at home.
Yeah, South Africa was really nice. So we did Joburg, we did Cape Town, and
we did like the townships in Joburg and in
Soweto,
Cape Town.
right?
Soweto, yeah.
And we went to that party.
So we found a tour on Airbnb for the township
of
Soweto. Super, super nice. We still be liking each other Instagram posts to this day. Y'all be friends with everybody, y'all. I got friends everywhere. Yes. Okay. And so she invited us to a party with the locals that night or the next night.
With the locals, Maisha? You mean a local party?
A local party, yeah, like not tourists, like
I know what you mean. I'm just
people.
Saying.
There are clubs and tourists go there. Like no, we went the locals. Like it was an old post office that they didn't transform into an outside lounge thing. Y'all, the best time, the best. Learn some dances. Like Christian is still practicing it, but it was so much fun. And like we didn't know, we just found her on Groupon and she just welcomed us in. We also got those African a dress and an outfit made within like 48 hours. Like she set that up for us. So like it was, that's definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, you gonna take me back?
Yeah, we definitely gotta go back. I don't know when, but definitely gotta go back and do some more stuff.
Where was yours?
My favorite, South Africa was definitely up there, but Bali was
I know you were going to say. That's why I didn't say that.
So Bali, we did that. That was the first summer.
Spent the whole summer there.
Yeah, I spent the whole summer there. Maisha went home to take the cat back to get his shots.
My sister got married.
I said, yeah, you have fun with that. I will be. So for me, right, because I'm not in education, I've never had like in my adult life in terms of like my working life, I've never had the summer off. So this idea of like working in education, having a whole summer off, like, hey, I want to do something. And so Bali was a thing that we did. And so I can't remember the route from
it was long.
Right. Egypt to
I want to say maybe like Turkey.
Okay.
Then Turkey to Singapore. No.
I do not remember.
It was long. It was like 3 or 4 flights.
Yeah.
And that was from Egypt. And y'all know Egypt is in the middle. Like when you look at a flat map, it's in the middle. So even from Egypt to Bali was long. It's 24 hours from America. So like it was a long trip.
long trip, but it was a great trip that we were there. So, like I said, Maisha went home for about, I don't know, 2 weeks, a week and a half. So I was there. I had an Airbnb with this guy who like has like a bed and breakfast basically, but he posts it on Airbnb. He posted on Airbnb. I was there for, like I said, a week and a half, whatever. It was really cool. I met some people who work at a co-working space, and I was able to kind of get a contract with them doing some video production, some photos, photography.
A boy got skills.
Some free time there in the co-working space. So it was really cool. We were there for basically the whole summer.
Yep.
We stayed after Maisha came in. We moved into a different Airbnb, still bed and breakfast style, but they have like compounds almost where multiple like family compounds, and a lot of the families live together, but a lot of the families also rent out different kind of spaces within that compound. And so this space was like a kind of double-decker house, if you will, 2-story, I guess. And on the top floor, we just basically had the whole top floor to ourselves. And that was only like, I think we spent like $700 for the whole summer. The whole summer, right? Like,
I think that was including your week and a half at the other place too.
Yeah, it was like,
so like 2 months at the Airbnb,
mm-hmm.
both Airbnbs total,
right,
for the whole time, like $700.
Yeah, so it was, Bali is very...
And it wasn't no janky place either.
It wasn't. I don't know if Bali... again, the war economy is different now. I don't know if it's still like that, but...
We should look at we should look at our receipt and see on Airbnb on the app.
We didn't spend a lot of money because Bali is pretty cheap. Like, I remember we went to this massage place.
Oh, that's when I first got
there.
Not
the spa, just the regular massage we went to, and I fell down the steps.
I was going to say that, but
yes, I know you was going to say it, so I said it for you, see? That place where I fell down the steps.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that lady was all on your booty.
No, that's the spa place. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that we got there, maybe 60-minute massages or whatever, both of us. I used my credit card. I checked the statement. It was like $2 US. I was like, how? But either way, great time. The people are super nice. The climate, the sunshine, the rice fields. It was just one of my favorite traveling experiences. And because we were really there for so long, we were really able to get some time with the locals, as Maisha calls them.
That's what we were.
People who actually live there, not tourist type stuff. So
right.
We enjoyed it.
But like that's the kind of traveling that we like. Like I want to go to the hole in the wall chicken shack because Mama back there making the chicken and it tastes good. I want to go, but I also want to see the tourist place. But we don't like to be like touristy. How do you say touristy?
Right.
Yeah.
We actually want to immerse ourselves in the location we can go to.
Yes. So to do that, you're amongst the locals of the community.
Yes.
Duh. That's why I say the locals. Anywho, we were there for 2 years, in Egypt for 2 years. We were fortunate to travel to, spend a whole summer in Bali, spend time in South Africa. We went to a number of different countries.
Yeah.
And,
Italy.
We did Christmas. Our first Christmas overseas, we just spent it in Italy. We did 2 weeks there. We did Lebanon, so we were in Beirut, Lebanon. We traveled throughout Egypt, Sharm, Hurghada, Ras Mohammed,
so
yeah.
Nice.
Bali, South Africa, yeah. Our last trip was supposed to be to the south of Egypt, like Aswan and what is it called?
I can't remember.
Aswan,
for sure.
Down South Egypt, but when we were gonna go, that was maybe like right a month or so before, like when COVID happened. So obviously we weren't able to visit there, but we did a lot of stuff throughout Egypt, more than just the pyramids. Like we did some local, like we were with the locals. We lived in a local community, so it was definitely a good experience. And then we came back
to the ghetto,
to America, the ghetto,
to America.
And I haven't been saying that as much, but when we first moved back, I was like, this is the ghetto. Like, it's just different. Like, we just see how much America charges for things. Like, there was a pharmacy on every corner in Egypt, and we can go in there and get medicine. Like, when my mom came to visit, looking at how much her medicine costs there versus America, like, it's the same exact medicine.
It's just
different.
It's different.
Even like LASIK.
Right. So we were looking at getting LASIK. I was looking at getting LASIK before moving to Egypt, And I think just for me, we got not charged, but we got quoted for, I think like $3,300, $3,600, whatever. Something $3,600.
$299.
Right, way more.
$2,999 too much.
We ended up getting LASIK in Egypt. And it's not like, hey, we got like the hookup. Like, no, this is just like the regular cost of LASIK in Egypt. One of our coworkers, he got it there, and he kind of recommended everybody, and basically all of us from the school that worked
everybody
there.
Had LASIK.
Everybody went, and I think we spent about $300.
It was with the pre whatever, the surgery, the after stuff, and the medicine. I think it was probably like $360, $370, and the medicine that we had to use as well.
So per person, which is like, again, crazy stuff. So we came back to the ghetto. We came back home to America.
The ghetto.
And
it was different.
It was different for sure.
We were different, like people. Like we learned, like I said, learned a lot about ourselves individually, but like also as a unit. And so we navigated our relationships differently with our family, with our friends. Like really had those boundaries in place, because it was a lot easier to put boundaries in place when you live halfway across the world. And then I went back to the same kind of job. I'm a school counselor there, came back, school counselor here. And
then me, I wanted to start my own business, right? So that's one thing we talked about before, because I really wasn't ready to come home. Aisha was ready to go. After the 2 years was out, I was like, hey, look, hey, what did it say? The getting is good, or whatever the term is.
Get the getting.
Like, hey, we can keep this going for a while, right?
We wanted to milk it.
Saving up. We were saving money because, again, we weren't making more money there, right? We were making a lot less money there, but we were spending a lot less there on expenses. A lot of our expenses were already covered with our contract, and we were basically able to send almost all our money back home.
U.S. dollars, yeah.
We were able to just save up a lot of money. I'm just like, hey, we can keep this going. But Maisha was ready to go, ready to come back home. And so I knew when I got back, I wanted to start my own video production company. So that's what I did. And so we were on, one income.
And one income in America is very different than one income in Egypt.
Right. So we're on one income, in terms of like a consistent, steady stream of income. We're on one income. And and for me, again, I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed traveling, but I wasn't really yearning for traveling. Like Maisha was like we got to go. So I'm
got that itch.
Maisha was getting the itch like within 6-7 months. Like she was ready to go.
But where we going?
We're going to go into this house, to this apartment that we live in. That's where we going. And so that's one thing that kind of, again, if we want to talk about, I guess, our differences and how Maisha's, she grew up and traveling a lot, and she really wanted to kind of keep that going. With me, though, I'm like, look, we did all this traveling, like we just told y'all, right? All this traveling we did in Egypt, spent this money, blowing, not blowing money per se, but we still did a lot of traveling. And I'm just like, look, we got back home. I'm not trying to get us to blow all of our savings to go back out and do all this traveling again. Like, and again, my role, right, husband, provide provision. I'm thinking about, money and how we're going to spend it and where it's going to go and blah, blah, blah. This is what I do just in general when it comes to me and Maisha's relationship. So it was some tension there for a good little time that kind of transitioned back home.
Yeah. And then for Christian, like you said, he was okay with not traveling, but me not as much. But for me, like in hindsight now seeing it, I see that for me, yes, I missed the traveling, but also like when we came back home, like you were so like laser focused on like starting your video production. Like we have one income that's consistent. We have bills, things are expensive. But for me, it translated into like Christian don't want to do anything. Like if we leave the house, it's like ching, ching, ching every step we take out of the house. And so that's how he is. And so that, I think, not only like moving back home and having reverse culture shock from being somewhere for 2 years, but then coming back home with one income and then, believing in you to do your video production, but it also translated to us not doing as much, period, like outside of the house. And so that became a strain as well.
Right, and like I told y'all, I forget what episode it was, but that's one thing I had to learn about being consistent and courting Maisha, right? So like not living on the things I've done in the past, like being, hey, we lived in Egypt, we did all this stuff, like we did all this traveling, like, hey, that was then.
Like it's a bucket list. We did that, we don't gotta do that no more.
That was then, this is now, right? That type of thing. I had to kind of get out of that mindset of, Maisha still wants to be courted. And again, like Maisha's saying, she didn't want to have to travel and do something like a trip all the time, but she did want to get out of the house more than what we were doing then. So, yeah, it was definitely a transition coming back home.
And we navigated that through communicating.
Right. A lot of difficult communicating, but we figured it out for sure. It took some time, but yeah.
And just realizing that we're different,
right.
And me learning how to communicate it without shutting down or without feeling like I can't say how I feel for the fear that you're going to be mad at me for saying it. That's that people pleasing, Yeah.
Okay, so let's transition into where we are now with traveling and how we are more intentional about our traveling now, right?
Yeah.
So with Jamaica, well, first, like, why we choose Jamaica, right? So with Jamaica, Maisha's been asking to go to Jamaica for a long time.
Forever. I was supposed to go for my 30th birthday, and then
right, and COVID happened, right? And so with us, like, I guess from a financial standpoint, again, like I do all the finances, right? We both make money. We both share our money. We'll have a whole money episode, I guess, later. But long story short, financially, we were in a place where, like, Maisha's been asking for this, like, I'm looking at the numbers. I was patient, y'all. She was patient, too.
I was patient.
We had to buy a house. We had to buy another car. And now things are kind of, like, becoming more settled financially. And I was like, you know what? We are in a space where we can, afford to do this and not, feel like we have to, spend it all on credit cards type thing, right? So we decided to come to Jamaica. So that's why we're here.
Christian asked me this past Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I said Jamaica. Just throwing it out there, because we'll do an episode about that too. Like, neither one of us are huge on, like, gifts or things. Like, we would rather have experiences. So I'm like, the Lord said you have not because you asked not. So he asked me what I want for Christmas, and I'm going to say Jamaica, and we're going to see how that works. And he said yes, and y'all thought I hit the lottery. I mean, I hit the lottery when I got with you.
No, that's too late. You already said it.
Oh, yeah. So with Jamaica, we touched down. We get to the airport. I'm just smitten, like, just Christian knocked out on this plane. But I'm just smitten that I finally made it to Jamaica. We are riding through the parishes. Like, the man got the music on. I'm just over there singing all the songs. Like, I felt like how I felt when I got to South Africa. Even though I don't know that language, these songs I know here.
You know these songs?
I know these songs. These were some deep cut by Marley and the Wailers, like deep cuts. Christian sleep. But yeah, this vacation we wanted to not be as adventurous and not be as, like, touristy. Like, we wanted to rest. So, like, why did we choose rest? Like, why is this one so different?
Yeah, so on our other travels, right, we, like Maisha said, we want to get with the locals. We want to go see the shack and get grandma's cooking type thing. We found
one. We going to that one. It's across the street. We going to go there.
Yes, we will be going there as well. But for the most part, when we travel, we do like to, like, get out and be adventurous. But this time around, we decided to rest. Mostly because, the last year or so we've been going through, a lot.
Tumultuous year.
Difficult time for us. And, maybe we'll feel comfortable enough to kind of have that conversation.
Another episode. We got to make notes of all these episodes we got to do.
But, long story short, right, we decided
we needed a reset.
We needed a reset. We needed a place to rest. And again, for Maisha, this is a place she's been wanting to go to. So, even right now, she's itching to get into this water that's behind us.
I just want to touch my toe in there.
But yeah, so we decided to rest this time. So we got the all inclusive, all adult,
adults only.
Don't nobody
want to see y'all kids.
The adults only, all inclusive resort where everything is basically kind of taken care of taking care of what
they brought a whole bottle. We came back when they brought that whole bottle to us.
Right, and so, like, we don't even really drink like that. Like, every now and then I'll get a drink. Same thing with Maisha, but
I'm margarita me, dog.
Right. I haven't drank, like, in a very long time. But either way, like, when we're here, we know it was all inclusive, and for the most part, it was really for me for the food. Like, we ain't got to worry about going out paying for food every time, right? The drinks is just another thing kind of on top of that. But so this is our first time kind of doing this all-inclusive thing. Y'all, they was not planning about it being all-inclusive. These folks came to our door. The bar people came to our door.
We came to restock your mini
I
bar.
was like, well, we haven't drank anything yet, but like, you know, what you got? And she's like, we got vodka, we got this. I'm like, okay, we'll take some rum, whatever, try some Jamaican rum.
I thought they were just gonna make us a drink on the spot.
Not even make a drink. I'm thinking they're gonna give us one of those little,
Oh, the little
small
the
ones.
shooters.
Yeah. They like, hey, here's a whole bottle. I'm like, yo, like,
Who's drinking this?
She was like, you'll be surprised, sir. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Gave us a whole bottle of champagne, a whole bottle of rum,
And
a whole bottle of vodka.
They didn't have tequila. I'm gonna have to put that on the review because I like tequila.
Yeah, but it's
A
Jamaica.
whole bottle.
Yeah.
A whole bottle.
Their thing is rum. And
Christian asked me, he said, they gonna charge it to the room? I said, I'll ask her. I said, is this gonna be charged to the room? Because we need to know, because if y'all gonna charge it, we don't want it, because we don't even drink like that. She was like, no, it's included. Say less. Say less.
Bruh, come on, dog.
I said, we're gonna need some pineapple juice too, so I can make some mixed drinks.
Like, I'm talking about, and not no small, these are full size bottles that are at
with
bars.
The little spew thing.
thing.
Yeah. I whipped us up. I whipped you up a rum and Coke.
Yeah, that Coke tastes different. It's definitely different type
It's
of.
Kingston 62. That's what they said.
I'm talking about the Coke. The Coca-Cola was
Oh
different.
yeah,
though.
but you know Coca-Cola is different all around the country,
Yeah,
the
it's like,
world,
it's kinda
anyways.
and I'm thinking like, is this the rum that got this nice little taste to it? Nah, it's the Coke. Because that rum tastes like
Rubbing
gasoline.
alcohol.
Bruh. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so
But
yeah.
yes, all inclusive.
we decided
is
to do
the way to go.
All inclusive, relax. We're gonna do some adventure though. We got to do our thing, but it's gonna just be a little bit different this time around, which is gonna be good for us to kind of definitely
The
reset.
first night we was in the bed, knocked out at 8 o'clock.
Like
8 o'clock.
good sleep too. Just
We didn't wake
knocked
up.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely need it.
So with us being intentional, like obviously this trip is very monumental for many reasons, and that like I've been wanting to go here, and then like just the last year or so that we've had. How are we going to continue to be intentional with our travel?
One thing that we're gonna do is plan further in advance. So we're already starting to plan our 9th year anniversary trip and our 10-year anniversary trip. So planning out in advance, kind of going out looking to see how much things cost and kind of see what places we like. And even if it means going ahead and booking the locations, just kind of waiting and watching the ticket prices and the flights and finding the best time to purchase those. That's one way that we're doing it. But also, I think, again, this is, you know, me wanting to honor my wife, right? So one thing, I know, again, Maisha loves to travel. So I feel like us, one, being intentional is good, but also Maisha knowing that there's a plan in place for us to go a place helps her, you know, like realize, okay, I ain't gonna kind of bug Christian about going. Like, we already got it set and kind of be excited as we kind of build up that anticipation for getting to where we're doing next, somewhere in South America, and then we're gonna do Aruba for our 10-year. I found out that, you know, June, which is around our, you know, our anniversary time.
Oh, our anniversary is
June
rainy
11th.
season.
It's rainy season in a lot of places. Like, it happened on our Costa Rica on our honeymoon. It basically rained the whole time. But
great time.
Great time though. And then so Aruba's June is their dry season, so we're gonna do Aruba for our next
for now,
place.
unless we find somewhere else.
Right.
And then also, I think when we had that season when we were waiting for our house, like the weekend staycations that we did, I think incorporating those.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like, traveling doesn't have to always be like out of the country, or, you know, actually it can be, you know, a trip to Florida. It can be a trip to.
It could be a trip to another part of Georgia.
Right, another part of Georgia. Right. What do they call those? Day trips, right? A day trip, right? So we've been trying to do more of that as well. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now, and being more intentional about traveling in our marriage. All right, so let's move on. We're kind of coming to a close here, but before we end, we're going to have this segment that we're calling Better Together. This segment is all about how we are kind of doing life together, right? But in this case, we're going to kind of make it be related to traveling. So how we do travel, like what, from a more practical standpoint, how we make traveling work, right? So what's one rhythm we always come back to when traveling together? What's one thing, basically, like rhythm as in like, what's one thing?
Playing to your strengths.
Yes.
Play to your strengths. Don't ask me about no budget, because if it's up to me, run it.
Yes.
Run it.
Good thing it's not up to you.
Yeah.
So play to your strength, what does that mean, Mike? Like,
Stay in your lane. So
Thank you.
for
What
me,
does
I'm
that
gonna stay in
mean?
my lane. Mine is like, okay, like Christian's booked the flight, he's booked the hotel. I'm gonna look at what time is the flight, what time we need to get there. Is there a shuttle? Do I need to call ahead of time? What do we need to pack? What toiletries do we need? I'm gonna check our overflow closet. Do we have enough wipes? Things like that, like the
Yes.
nitty gritty type things.
so I book the travels,
Yeah.
right? I make sure we got the money set in the right place, whatever. I make sure we can afford to do the things that we talking about doing.
the bills are paid.
Right. And Maisha does I guess we're gonna call this all of the other
And how you say it?
ancillary
yeah.
things, like you said, like she's already said, making sure everything kind of goes right. So, hey, it's paid for. Now your turn to do what you do. So that's one thing that's very important of us. Basically, like she's saying, stay in your lane, play to your strengths, and we make it work together. What's something that we've learned about navigating travel differently as we've grown, right? What has we just realized this? We was talking about it right before this. What is it, Mike? You say it.
We bad and bougie.
You bad, I'm bougie. Both of us bougie. Yeah, we done got bougie, y'all.
Like,
we over here like,
what is this?
what is this? Don't taste right, and that's what happens, y'all.
Yes.
We got to get a little.
Get a little money.
Getting a little bit more bougie than we used to be. We've been together for so long, right? We've been dating since we were
Yeah.
18 years old. So
Yeah.
our 18-year-old travels a
'Cause
lot different than
we
what.
have no money
right.
then, but now
And we was okay. We was
I got
okay
a little
with.
money.
We was okay with all, whatever. It's
We
like,
was okay with the outside hallways.
Oh, I remember that.
The outside, you can't pay me to stay in no outside hallway today.
We did stay in the outside hallway one time, for sure.
Yeah, we bougie.
For y'all, outside hallway, as in like, there's the door to
They
your hotel
Motel
room.
6,
Motel 6.
Red Roof Inn, the hotels that don't have carpet on the floor when you walk from room to room.
Yes, so
We ain't doing that. But yeah, we're bougie.
yeah, and I guess we get, and I'm sure this happens to everyone, right? Like, we're not bougie where we have to have a 5-star luxury
we ain't got to be
experience,
at the
all of that.
Ritz-Carlton.
But we still,
I
we
need
just
at
like
least 4
certain
stars.
things. At least 4?
Four. I need at least 4 stars.
All right,
Yeah.
let me see. So what are some other things that we do to kind of, we're traveling, we're away from our normal routines. How do we kind of keep things all together?
Well, first and foremost, we got to make sure that Tuda is okay.
So Nugget
Is fine. So,
we arrange Nuggets, whatever,
Yeah.
care. What else do
because
you do?
we bougie with him too. So if my mama not available, he's gonna get checked into the pet hotel. So
Yes. What else?
And for me, it's become a pet peeve rule of mine, and Christian just kind of runs with it. But me, before I leave for a trip, I don't care if it's a weekend, however long, I want the house clean. So that means no dishes in the sink, like the trash is all out from all of the trash
All
cans.
the trash bins.
Like, I
around
don't
the
care if it's
house.
just 2 pieces of tissue in the trash can. I don't want it in here. And laundry, like, no laundry in the laundry basket. Like, whatever laundry's in the basket, it's the laundry that we had the night before we leave. Because when I come home, oh yeah, the bed got to be made, living room, like basically a clean house. Because when you come from vacation, like, yes, you're having fun, but you're coming back to reality. And so when I step into our house, I want it to be clean. I don't want to smell no stinky trash, stinking dishes. I already got to wash our clothes from vacation. I don't want to wash those clothes and the clothes that were left. Like, it just makes me feel good to leave a house and it's clean and I come back to a clean house.
Yes.
I feel like you've grown to appreciate it because you're
Yeah,
like, this
definitely.
is actually nice.
Yeah, because for me, like, if we going to travel, I got, pack up all my stuff, whatever. I don't care. Like,
Christian will have stuff everywhere on the floor.
and it don't matter because all I care about is stuff I'm putting into my suitcase. And when I get back, I'll do that stuff. It don't matter. We finna leave anyway.
But you won't.
We finna leave anyway.
But you won't because you're going to leave your suitcase
We finna
in
leave
a
anyway.
corner unpacked
Yeah.
for weeks
Yeah.
until you run out of drawers. And then I tell you that they're all in there and then I have to wash again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what about you?
For me, it's a budget, right? Like, before we go, I need to know how much money we got, where is it. I don't like feeling like when I'm on vacation, like, oh, like, not penny pitching per se, but I don't like feeling like I don't have control over our finances when we're out and about. So if we want to do something at the spur of the moment, I want to be like, we got the money to do it. No, I want to know, like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do that. Because I already know I've set the money aside. I already know I've made sure all our bills are taken care of for the month. Like, everything is done from a budget standpoint. And whatever we do here, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it without having to worry about I guess having not anxiety per se, but not to worry about where the funds coming from because it's already been taken care of.
Because y'all already know I told you I'm going to just run it.
Right.
We'll figure it out. The Lord will provide.
But again,
Christians say that's not how that works.
That's not how it works. The Lord don't just provide for you just out here doing stuff you ain't supposed to be doing. Nah, God said you got to be good stewards of what's been given to you, okay? So God ain't going to provide. You going to just go running up the credit card. That ain't how it works, y'all. That's not how it works. Anyway.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
Anyway, so, again, playing to our strengths, right? We have our things, and it just happens that we kind of have them together. We're better together, and that's the end of the Better Together segment.
Yes.
Maisha closes out.
Whew. That was fun.
It was.
That was fun. All right. So before we close today, we are going to pause for a minute and share one thing that's still sitting with us or sitting with you from the conversation, like about our just travel reflections or anything like that. So what's one thing that's sitting with you?
What's one thing that's sitting with me? Okay. One thing that's sitting with me is that it's okay to take a break, right? It's okay to kind of take a step back, reset, and get yourself together, whether it be individually or in this case for us on this trip, it's us together. It's okay to take a break.
Okay.
What you got?
I would say, so much. I would say that I appreciate just how intentional that we both have been with just making sure that we're both happy in like travel stuff, because I know it looks different for the both of us, but I appreciate the intentionality that you've shown, in particular with just allowing us to come to Jamaica, because this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and the timing, the Lord be knowing, the timing was very impeccable. So that's what we have for y'all today. Let us know in the comments what's your favorite travel memory or what's sitting with you from today's episode, whether that's related to us in our journey or in your own relationship or future relationships. So let us know in the comments. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at Christian and Maisha so that you're up to date on the next episode. Go back and watch previous episodes, see what we're doing in real life.
So this is episode 4. Until next time, see you later or hear from you later. What's a cool way of ending our podcast, Mash? We got to figure out a cool way.
In the beginning, I say, let's get into it.
Right, okay.
So what we can say?
I don't know. Okay, how about this, y'all? Give us a cool ending. Like, we need a way of ending
We're going to
these.
ask that on the Instagram.
Yeah, and help us end our podcast. Because I just be in the editing room just cutting it.
You have to kiss me. In real life.